Hello everybody. Once again, I have to address Patreon and what is happening because look, I've lost a lot of money in donations from many people who refuse to support Patreon. I respect their decision to get off the platform. It's a bummer for me to see you guys leave. And so I have set up an alternative. So the first thing I want to say in this video is go to timcast.com/donate. And you can give monthly through PayPal, you can give through Bitcoin, and there's also a P.O. box where you can send me whatever the hell you want. Some people have sent some really awesome stuff. I've gotten gift cards, books, all of it is awesome. Just whatever you'd like to give helps me do the work that I do. Patreon is still in a very, very bad spot. And recently, Jack Conte gave an interview on the Rubin Report. I commend Patreon for doing this. You never see this happen. One of the most common PR tactics is to shut up and let it all go away. Just wait for it all to blow over. Go have a pint, and it'll disappear soon. But Jack did something honorable, and he came out in a public statement and on a news show on the Rubin Report and talked about why they do what they do and what's going on. Okay, it's really sad to see that he is being punished for this technically. Now I know a lot of people are really, really grateful that the CEO of a tech company is willing to come out and make a statement. But what he said did not help him. A lot of people have hit me up and said the interview was kind of, Jack didn't address the things he needed to address, or that he just dug himself deeper by saying things like, you can't put hate speech on Patreon. Jack talked about how Patreon has a content policy, meaning there are certain things they don't want to see on Patreon because it could be bad for them. They want to build a culture and they have a mission. And this is where the problem comes from. They have a mission, and their mission doesn't necessarily include you or me or anyone else. And that means if someone goes against their mission, they will be removed. That's the problem. They're a middleman. They are someone who exchanges money between people, and the service, look, I like Patreon, but let's be honest, it's not that much. They don't do that much. It didn't take me that long to set up the donation page on my website. PayPal's got a service, I set it up, and now Patreon takes a cut. Now I'm actually budgeting more effectively because PayPal's cut is less. It's just a processing fee. So Patreon, what it really did was it allowed people to set up one account where they could donate to multiple people very easily. That's not doing very much. And if that means that if at some point Patreon decides you are not a part of their mission, I'm sorry, but you've got to go. Now, Patreon, their mission is broad, let's put it that way. And he said over and over again that like real dialogue and all that good stuff, it's okay. You have nothing to worry about. But he said hate speech is not allowed. And so what does that mean? Could there come a time where I do an interview with someone who says such disgusting, hateful things that Patreon says, yo, we don't like what this person is saying and you are platforming them? Is that the argument we're going to be having? I don't know. What I do know is that there's too many people who have left because of their outrage at Patreon's decision that I had to set up these alternatives. But let's move on and talk about something a little bit more depressing and at the same time kind of funny. Because it's going down. The far left, news, media platform, whatever you want to call it, is accusing me of having gotten their Patreon page removed with an article saying that like Patreon has caved to Tim Pool and the alt-right. And I've got my lefty, my feminist friends sending me this saying like LOL and things like that. I got a bunch of texts from my friends who New York people who are like very far left laughing about the whole thing. And my response to all this is like, wow, I didn't realize I was so powerful to dictate the actions of Jack Conte, the CEO of Patreon. But let's talk about what actually happened with It's Going Down and what they're accusing me of. First of all, in their article, they say that I'm most known from fleeing Milwaukee due to a fear of black people, and that I am a balding 20-something who chooses to wear a ski cap even when it's really hot out. So, while a bit hyperbolic, fleeing Milwaukee out of fear of black people is absolutely ridiculous. Come on, I'm from the south side of Chicago. How many times now everyone's gonna make fun of me, Tim, we know where you're from. Yeah, but the point is, it's puffery at best. Now, 20-something, I'm 31, okay? I'm an old man. I'm 31 years old. And the ski cap in the summer, absolutely right. Absolutely right. You got me on that one. But the funny thing is, they're acting like somehow I was the linchpin. That I personally, they're saying that I personally contacted the CEO of Patreon to have them removed. No, that's not true at all. So let me break down exactly what happened, and I'll give you the run through. I got contacted a while ago by many people who were complaining that Patreon was allowing It's Going Down to fundraise on their platform. Now, I've had a lot of discussions with many people on the left about this, and what I was told was, look, It's Going Down is a media platform that hosts the words of other people. It is protected First Amendment speech. And a lot of people have said it's an important website because if somebody is going to commit an act of sabotage or violence, and then they want to write about it, that's something that we should hear. We should hear as much as possible about why they're doing what they're doing and better understand why they're doing what they're doing. One of the things about journalism and protecting sources is that if people are ever afraid to speak up about why they do what they do, we won't know what they're doing. So that's the argument I got from many people on the left. When I had all these people coming at me saying, Tim, do this story, talk about Patreon allowing this page, I said, I was thinking to myself, look, if somebody wants to raise money, I'm not gonna get into the middle of that argument. There was a point at VidCon where Patreon was investigating Sargon of Akkad, and they released a statement saying that Sargon hasn't done anything wrong and they won't be removing his page or anything like that. And that's when I started seeing a ton of people hitting me up saying, dude, what about Antifa? What about It's Going Down? It's Going Down has some pages where they've hosted people talking in the first person about sabotaging railroad tracks and other activities like that. They say things like, we did this, we did that. And it's my understanding that the position of It's Going Down is that this is a post from someone else and is not from It's Going Down. However, It's Going Down published an article from an anonymous person using the first person. We did this. We are doing this. This is why we do this. And I feel like they're trying to hide behind, oh, no, we're just republishing what other people are saying. So in a sense, they're giving a forum for discussions about how to commit illegal activities, why they do it. And there was my question. So let me show you exactly what I said to Patreon. And the reason I reached out to Patreon about this was that there was a large cry of hypocrisy that the actions that Lauren Southern was taking, if they were going to cause a loss of life, what about the actions of, It's Going Down? This article talking about, I'll just use the example of pouring concrete on railroad tracks. That could also cause a loss of life. And so I said, great, clarification of this comment, getting a better understanding might help us to better understand why Patreon made the decisions that they made. I tweeted about this and said that I was awaiting a comment from them because I do journalism. And when there is a large public outcry, I will look for answers. And in this instance, Lauren Southern had been taken down and many people were saying, what about the left? Why are they only targeting the right? And I said, okay, that's a question that I'll ask and I can clarify this. This is an important understanding that we need to have. But I am not surprised that It's Going Down is posting fake news saying that I personally contacted Jack Conte to have them removed. Nope. No, I didn't. But you know what? These people are looking for a scapegoat, and the idea of the alt-right isn't a scapegoat. They need an individual to target. So they're targeting me, saying that because I requested a comment on this group, that somehow I was actively engaged as an alt-right troll. Oh, please. You know what, man? These people are absolutely off the rails. And you know what? Extremists tend to be pretty off the rails. It's Going Down is pretty extreme. I mean, look, whether or not you say that hosting or not hosting an article is free speech or media, a news website won't post something where they talk about how we do this and we do that, and this is why we should do this and we should do that. They will report like a group or an individual or an anonymous source has said that they are doing this and they are doing that. And there's a difference. We are looking at a really, really strange world. There's a fine line between action and inaction, free speech and action, and Patreon has just showed us the dangers that we face. That I don't know what Jack Conte's mission is. I don't know what Patreon's mission is. They say they don't want pornography or violence or anything. Well, I don't know what the entirety of their mission is, and I don't know if that I will be able to fit, or if at some point their mission will change, and they will snap their fingers and say, you know what, you're gone. So, this is why I've officially set up an alternative through PayPal. And PayPal is not perfect either. They've been known to freeze people's accounts, so there's a huge risk, and I will continue to diversify. For those that are still using Minds.com, nothing will change. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm still going to keep promoting Minds.com because I really do like the platform, and I think it's a good opportunity to create this like behind-the-scenes feed. Email me with any questions, and I will do my best to sort this out. It's been a rough past couple weeks with this whole fiasco. It's hurt me really bad. I know it's hurt many other creators, and I know that a lot of people have planned to pull off entirely from Patreon. So, to reiterate, I will not be deleting my Patreon account. There are a lot of videos I've made that push to Patreon, and there are a lot of people that have no problem or no understanding of the political controversy. Because of that, I'm going to make sure that I maintain this and still allow people to give if they want to give. But for everyone who's there, and everyone who's left, and everyone who is upset about Patreon's action, I have set up timcast.com/donate. So go there and please consider supporting me because, again, like, it's been rough. I've lost over 100 patrons in this whole fiasco, and it seems to be just getting worse. I got back from DEF CON. I set up the alternative. I had some time to sit down. Thank you all so much, everybody who donates, everybody who watches. I mean, seriously, just watching the videos really does help because I don't make a lot, but there is ad revenue involved, and I need to make sure that I can budget effectively and know that should anything change, I'll still be able to make it to these big breaking news events, and that's the point of monthly subscriptions. So, oh man, I feel like the story's not over, and I feel like it's just going to keep getting worse. So, comment below. Let me know what you think. Suggestions, ideas. I really appreciate it, everybody. Click the like button if you like the video. Stay tuned. New videos every day at 4 p.m. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Timcast. Oh, once again, let me just say, send me some tips. My email is tim@tagg.ly. That's tim@tagly. And send me any thoughts or ideas, upcoming stories. I'll be in New York for a little bit because I have to move. All of this great, wonderful, it's going away. And I'm going to go somewhere else. And I don't know where yet. So stay tuned. And I'll see you all tomorrow at 4 p.m.